Before I started the foundation in 2006, I had been working primarily in two areas: gender equality and communal harmony. But of course, the larger issue beneath these two areas is the issue of discrimination. And sadly, as we all know, we live in a country riven with discrimination, be it of caste, of religion, gender, or income. So, when I started the foundation in 2006, it was for two salient reasons. One was I wanted to have an NGO that could intervene in any kind of discrimination in any part of the country at any time. And two was, if we wanted to do work in different areas, in different parts of the country, I would normally have to go through other NGOs. Whereas here we would have the elasticity and the speed to do things on our own. And so I was chatting with the then Chief Secretary of the Andamans, Mr. D.S. Negi, and he said, why don't you do something with the people of the islands? And I said, well, I don't really see any discrimination that they face. He said, well, it might not be the active kind, but it certainly is passive. And then I understood what he meant. If in those days there was a weather report and a map of India was shown on television, the Andaman Nicobar Islands were missing. People who used to travel to the Andamans thought they had to carry US dollars to actually function there. So I realized that the discrimination was more ignorance, not so much active discrimination, but discrimination all the same, and the islanders felt it only too acutely.
The foundation has two projects, REACH and HEAL. REACH stands for Restoring Equality through Education and Advancement of Children, which is primarily a scholarship initiative for children from disenfranchised backgrounds who are either actively or passively discriminated against. HEAL, Help Eradicate Abuse Through Learning, is our initiative against child sexual abuse. Every survivor of child sexual abuse either faces social discrimination or they inflict self-discrimination on themselves, and the foundation pledges to work against this.
And so we dived into REACH in the Andaman Nicobar Islands, looking for children to select and take them to a school on the mainland. After looking at 15 boarding schools across the country, we settled on Rishi Valley School in Madnapalli near Bangalore, because we felt it had the best mix of a very simple way of living and yet a very high-minded way of thinking, its philosophy as well as the standard of its academics and extracurriculars. Then came selecting the children, which was even more complex and physically very demanding. I remember my director catching boats between islands. It took 12 hours, 14 hours, 18 hours through inclement weather to make sure that the forms reached the various schools and the various block development officers' offices. And after a year, we had 6 children selected. And I remember the day they walked into Rishi Valley and they saw this school full of trees and woods and forested area with little buildings, and all 6 of them literally ran into Rishi Valley, and I knew that this was hopefully the beginning of something good.
बच्ची के अंदर जो टैलेंट है तो मम्मी पापा को पता चलता है पहले से ही जी। तो मुझे विश्वास था कि सुखसार का सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा। वो अच्छे से पढ़ेगी, वो फ्यूचर में कुछ बनेगी।
अच्छा, किस चीज़ का डॉक्टर बनेगी?
So when they came to Rishi Valley, they were shy, very well behaved, not so confident, quiet, and hesitant to express themselves because of their lack of knowledge of English. And today, I think to see them growing into irreverent, funny, interesting, complex, independent thinking boys and girls is really what it's all about. Once the children from the Andaman Nicobar Islands under the aegis of REACH had spent 3 years in Rishi Valley, the foundation as an entity felt that it was ready emotionally, experientially, financially to intervene into yet another part of the country and look for children there. We decided to start work in the Kashmir Valley. We felt that children there had been locked away through reasons of both history and geography. And so we met with the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Omar Abdullah, and his entire team, all the way to his political advisors, the Ministry of Education, the Director of Education, and we were sure of 100% support, and we've got it. The initial pool was 200,000, and we've narrowed it down to 20 children.
Our goal was to try and ensure that every child eligible under the scholarship initiative had an equal opportunity to apply. We worked with the Education Department to systematically disseminate information as well as the application forms to every region in the valley, no matter how remote, reaching almost the border. Using REACH 1, the scholarship program in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, we mapped out 4 stages of selection. In the first stage, the students had to submit a simple application form along with a 200-word essay written in English with a piece of artwork. The students shortlisted from this round had to appear for an exam that was set by the board of the Sahyadri School Admission Committee. The next 2 stages of selection, we wanted to go beyond looking at just scholastic and academic ability. Through a series of group discussions and activities carefully formulated for this purpose, we looked at leadership, we looked at independence, we looked at emotional strength, and we looked at extracurricular talent. After which, the final 20 students meet with a panel who are experts in the fields of education, child welfare, and psychology. Whether these kids choose to go back home to Jammu and Kashmir and use their exposure and experience for the benefit of the region, or whether they choose to grow outward and become ambassadors of the state, we truly believe that a slim but resilient bridge would have been permanently created between the region and the rest of the country for others to cross boundaries with.
The initiative was the first of its kind in the valley because no other NGO, no other non-governmental organization has strived to provide education to the students of the valley. A novel intervention like this has garnered appreciation all over the valley. I believe that the foundation should continue its work in the valley as it has, and inshallah it will be a success, inshallah.
We are now on the threshold of selecting 6 children from the valley to go to Sahyadri School near Pune, where they will start their grade 6. The reasons we chose Sahyadri School were the same as the reasons we chose Rishi Valley School for the Andaman's kids. Sahyadri School has a deeply egalitarian ethos with an emphasis on simple living, yet its academic and extracurricular standards are very high. Add to that, being at a height of 2,200 feet, the Sahyadri School enjoys a climate that's more temperate that we felt would suit the kids from Kashmir best. Help Eradicate Abuse Through Learning is about prevention of child sexual abuse. When my director expressed the desire to open this division, I was very, very happy, and I said, listen, run with this, go for it, create a different division, a division as important as REACH that we can be proud of at the foundation, because there are very, very few practitioners in the non-profit sector in the field of child sexual abuse.
HEAL works at 3 levels: awareness, assistance, and advocacy. At the awareness level, we do workshops with parents, teachers, stakeholders, and also with children to tell them about what child sexual abuse really is, how prevalent it is, how to recognize its signs and symptoms, and most importantly, how to teach children to keep themselves safe. At the assistance level, the foundation has a very strong rehabilitation program for every survivor of child sexual abuse and their caretakers. For this, we have a strong panel of lawyers, doctors, psychologists, medico-legal experts who all work pro bono for us to help survivors of child sexual abuse. And this year, the foundation has also started to train 15 psychologists across the city of Mumbai who will be specialized and upskilled to work specifically on child sexual abuse. And finally, at the advocacy level, the foundation works very closely with other NGOs and the government to develop policies against child sexual abuse. Considering that our country still doesn't have a consolidated law against child sexual abuse, we've been working very closely over the last couple of years to develop a separate bill against sexual offences towards children, and hopefully 2012 will see this bill passed and initiated.
CSA was a topic that I was reluctant to handle initially because I was not too sure if I could really handle the emotions, if I could actually take the clients through what they've experienced and help them go on in life without having the negative aspects. And I think this workshop really helped me in that.
The goal of the foundation in the next 15-20 years, as far as REACH is concerned, is to see 100-150 children who otherwise would not have broken out of their communities, breaking out, going to fantastic schools, and learning that if you don't discriminate, you can actually create a world that doesn't discriminate, and you can have a heart and a mind that is suffused with spiritual as well as physical excellence. As far as HEAL is concerned, child sexual abuse as a virtual center of help that the foundation is, should one day become a physical center, where survivors and their supporters can walk in and we can offer them legal, financial, vocational and psychosocial help.
Soul for you, sir.
I think Rahul's really worked very hard, not only to get this auction together, but to put in a good foundation that's doing some meaningful work. So I think that's really the critical element of the whole thing.
I've come to realize that there's more to life than just winning medals and just shooting. So this is a great cause.
ये जो एसोसिएशन है बहुत ही अच्छा कर रही है और सबसे बड़ी बात तो मुझे इसकी ये लगी कि ये गरीब बच्चों के लिए कर रही है.
One thing is for sure, whatever we do at the foundation, now or in the future, the foundation of everything we do must be and will be, very simply, love.